What's up guys, welcome back and hello if you are new. So I hope all of you are having an amazing week. I'm sure you are because this is the week for releases. Honestly, I feel like this week is just jam-packed to the rafters with amazing albums. So before I go into this album review, I just want to say a quick thank you to all of the people that have supported the channel on Ko-fi. It really does mean so much to me, and I've really actually been quite blown away by all of the support that I've had. So if you do want to support the channel and support me, that is really, really amazing. And I thank you, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. So with that in mind, I'm looking at Cannibal Corpse's 15th studio album, the first to feature Eric Rutan from Hate Eternal, Morbid Angel, and I'm so excited to talk about it. Let's dive in to Violence Unimagined.
Violence unimagined, lasted for days, perverted celebration. Cruelty of the street.
So perhaps the biggest thing for me on Violence Unimagined is the sense of variety. And with that in mind, talking about variety, there's different tempos, melodies, song structures. You know, like you'll have one track and it will completely be turned on its head. And there's variety in not just the music, but the subject matter as well. Obviously, Violence Unimagined, that kind of, it's a really quite wide canvas, you know, for them to kind of paint on. And it's not, as much as I love the early stuff of Cannibal Corpse, it's not like I killed her and then I fucking did this and whatever. It's more mature and it's more like interesting with different takes on what the idea of violence could actually entail. So of course, one of the biggest things is that Eric Rutan of Hate Eternal, Morbid Angel fame has joined the band. And not only has he had obviously a huge amount of experience in death metal, but with Cannibal Corpse, he's responsible for recording Kill, Evisceration Plague, Red Before Black, Torture, and now this album. So the great thing about this is that there's enough of Rutan's personality in the three songs that he's put forward, which are Condemnation, Contagion, Ritual, Annihilation, and Over Torture, but it sounds exactly like Cannibal Corpse. But for me, it's the attention to detail that really brings this album into the upper echelon. So you've got, you know, the transitions, which I mentioned, which would be something like on Inhumane Harvest, for example. Another thing is that the drum patterns change, so the riff may stay the same, but Paul's drums are changing and it slowly but surely kind of changes the overall atmosphere and the feel of the song. When we're talking lead work as well, I feel like that's even more intelligent. It's more kind of symbiotic with the actual songwriting rather than kind of like something that they kind of put in the bridge or something like that. And some of the highlights for me are Bound and Burned. I thought some of the solos in that were really interesting. Or Inhumane Harvest, that reminded me of like the solos that were in Followed Home Then Killed and things like that. And of course, you know, it goes without saying, Corpse Grinder is one of the best death metal vocalists out there, but I think his performance on this record is amazing. But the biggest thing is the enunciation. Like, I feel like you can understand exactly what he's saying, all of the intensity, and it has that crazy sort of like, holy fuck, the rails are gonna come off. Like, he just keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then it just stops. Which then kind of brings me into my next part, which is Paul. Paul's drumming on this album is absolutely fantastic, and I think it's probably his best album that he's ever done. It's definitely his most varied. You've got examples of the battering drums on Bound and Burned and Cerements of the Flayed, but then you've got trickier time signatures like Slowly Sawn, which sounds like an absolute nightmare to navigate. And then of course you've got the straight ahead rabid craziness of Over Torture, you know, Murderous Rampage, things like that, where it just sounds like bah, 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 bah. The production as well, I find that the guitar tone on this album is really crunchy, but also there's so much clarity behind everything. And there's exactly everything you would want from a Cannibal Corpse album, but with the added benefit of having something new. And this is 100% going to be the death metal album to beat this year. So I hope I've done the album justice. Let me know what you think in the comments. And also, as ever, if you do want to support the channel, there's a Ko-fi link just down below. So thank you ever so much, and I will see you very, very soon for my next album review. Take care, my friends.